At the beginning of the year, I made a handful of goals, and on that list of goals was to start my sourdough journey. This is my experience from starter to first loaf, and I cannot emphasize enough that this is not a tutorial video, just my experience of fumbling through making my first loaf. So let's start at the beginning. Guys, I feel like I'm picking up a pet for the first time. I'm going over to get a sourdough starter from one of my neighbors in the neighborhood. I asked for one on the Buy Nothing group, and I'm gonna go pick one up. And I feel like I'm bringing home an animal, like a pet or something. I'm so excited. I have the jar ready. I'm so excited. Okay, let's go. Hello! It may not seem like it, but it is in fact the same day, just a little bit later. Not that much later, I just kind of sweat through the t-shirt that I was wearing and wanted to like get my hair up and not be overstimulated by my clothes. Alright, so have the starter. I've got to refeed it or whatever, so I've got to do this over the next couple of days. She gave it to me and was like, you know, the person that gave it to me said that allegedly this starter dates all the way back to the Oregon Trail. She's like, I don't know if I believe it, but it's fun to think that it's true. And I was like, okay, fine, cool. She's like, by far is the best starter I've ever had. You can leave it for 6 months and it still works. So this is gonna be a really sad thing to leave when I move to New Zealand, but it's fine, I'll give it to someone. Anyways, I was trying to think of a name for her, and for some reason, Margaret popped into my head. I named her Miss Margaret because if she does in fact date all the way back to the Oregon Trail, then she's a dignified old lady. It definitely smells a little funky, but I looked it up and it was like, if it smells a little sour but not like bad, then it's still fine to use. If it's like smells really bad, then it's not good anymore. So basically what we're gonna do is use 1/4 a cup of flour, unbleached flour, and then 2 tablespoons of warm filtered water. I don't have filtered water. I don't have a water filter. So I just boiled some water and let it cool down because that pretty much does the same thing, I'm assuming. So 2 tablespoons of that. And yes, I'm not doing it in grams because I don't have a weight, one of those weight things. Anyways, and then 2 tablespoons of this. I'm gonna not discard the rest of this because she just gave this as discards from her thing, but I want to follow the ratio so that I don't get confused and I don't mess things up. I'm gonna save the rest of it though in a separate container in case this goes poorly because I want to cover all my bases, okay? So let's get down to business. So I'm gonna save the rest of this in this little jar that I've just cleaned. This is gonna go straight into the fridge as like my dormant starter. It's fine, guys. I'm gonna figure it out. I feel like the best way to learn is by making mistakes, and I saved the extra, so if I mess this up, that's fine. I messed it up and I have more. So it's really, everything's gonna be okay. Let's see, the moment of truth. It looks like this. The fact that I can put the whole thing on a spoon, is that concerning? I don't know. Okay, I tried to spread it out a little bit more. Let's see how this works. I think 12 hours from now is midnight, so I'll probably check again tomorrow morning and I will check back in with you. I have work tomorrow, early-ish, but I'll check before I go to work and then feed it, and then we'll keep checking in. Okay, let's see the beginning of my sourdough journey. Over the next few days, I was very excitedly watching my sourdough grow, making discard recipes, but then my inexperience was starting to shine through very glaringly. This is turning into an utter failure. It's 8 hours since I fed and it hasn't doubled. I don't know when it's supposed to double or not. If it has gone up and then gone back down again, I need to get a scale. I need to get a scale. At this point, I'm just feeding them to keep them alive, okay? Until I can get a scale and figure out how to actually do this for real. I knew this was gonna be a whole thing. I should have done more research, but they're alive, so. The thing about sourdough is you can always fix it. That's the whole point of it. You just need to troubleshoot. Except there's one thing you can't troubleshoot. Mold. It got moldy. Long story short. So I'm trying again. Very luckily, I saved the starter that the lady gave me. I nearly out, so I really got to be careful this time. But I did a little bit more research and I found out that I can either do a 1-to-1-to-1 and feed it like now and then before I go to bed and then after I wake up and then blah 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 blah. So I think I'm gonna do a 1-to-10-to-10 ratio, or at least that's what my research has said. Like the up and down rise time is like 12 to 24 hours, which might give me a little bit more time to, like, you know, have a moment. I also realized that you kind of have to bounce between 2 jars when you're feeding it, so I still have the lid that says Miss Margaret on it, so we're keeping that alive. I also heard that stirring it half an hour after you feed it helps like build more gluten in. Okay, hoping for the best now. Okay, so it's 5:03 p.m. This should double in size. Okay, Miss Margaret, we're rooting for you, girl. Guys. Look! I'm so proud. I'm so proud of her. I want to feed her multiple more times before I even attempt to make bread. And also I really want to make sure that I'm gifting my friend a really good, strong sourdough starter. So I also might do the float test in a couple of days once I've fed it a few more times, which is basically just like if you scoop a tiny bit of it off, I think it might have to be at peak. And then if it floats, then it's like ready to use. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna do a sourdough discard recipe. I printed it out again. And I'm gonna do this one because we have some blueberries and blackberries that Ray's mom got us. Throughout the next week or so, I did more sourdough discard recipes, daily feedings, and got a haircut. And then I was finally ready to make my first loaf. I finally did the float test and it floated. So it's ready to go. It's ready to use for bread. I think maybe tomorrow I'm going to attempt to do a loaf of bread. I've basically just been transferring it back and forth between 2 jars and then using my same Miss Margaret lid. I have to check. There we go. It says for this one to feed the starter at 8 a.m. a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio, but I think I'm gonna do maybe a 1-to-2-to-2 so that it goes and I can start it in the morning, like making the dough and covering it and like blah 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 whatever. I've fed it overnight and then in the morning it's still at its peak, so just from what I've noticed in my circumstances, that seems to be okay. So I think I'm gonna do a 1-to-2-to-2 just so I have enough starter. I've actually split off a little piece of the starter to gift to a friend, so that's exciting as well. Been using that King Arthur bread flour. Also, just wanted to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I did get a haircut. Ray cut my hair because I cut his hair and he's like, do you want me to cut yours too? And I was like, why not? Anyways, I am gonna feed this, check back with you tomorrow morning, and hopefully we can make our first sourdough loaf. I'm just gonna try this recipe and see what happens. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, ignore the fact that I look crazy. So now I just need to mix the dough, cover it, and let it rest for about an hour. And then do some stretch and folds, and then let it rise, and then cold proof it. And then yeah, I've watched a handful of videos about it, so I'm like feeling decently optimistic. But again, this is gonna be my first ever sourdough loaf. So it's 100 grams of starter, 350 grams of warm filtered water, 500 grams of flour, and 10 grams of salt. And then I know you're supposed to do the starter and the water first and then whisk that together with like a fork, because I don't have one of those weird, what are they called, Dutch spatulas or something like that? A Dutch whisk? I don't have one of those and I'm not gonna buy one. I don't have a water filter, so while the boiled water is cooling down, I just want to show you guys my starter. It was like tilting this up. It has died just a tiny bit, it has fallen just a little, so right now it's like the moment that I need to be making this bread, but it got all the way on the top. Also, I made her a friendship bracelet It says Miss Girl because I was gonna do Miss Margaret, but I didn't have an E to finish it. I'm really excited for this. I'm kind of like in shock. I mean, I expected it to go all the way up, to be honest, because there was a lot of starter at the bottom. Also, last night I made some sourdough starter chocolate chip cookie dough, and it says that the longer you leave it in the fridge, the better that it tastes. And I put it in last night, so I think later tonight I'm gonna make those cookies. So I'm just baking today, except the only thing is I don't actually have any all-purpose flour, so I used bread flour for the cookies. I don't know what's gonna happen with those, but I will report back, I suppose. I got this for $15 on the side of the road in New York. I love little unexpected, basically garage junk sales. They happen all the time, all over the place. It's kind of scuffed up. It's not in great condition, but it was $15 and I don't really care. I'm gonna be cooking in parchment paper anyway. Speaking of, I need to go get some parchment paper, like to cover it. I don't really know exactly what to do. I don't know if it's supposed to be with plastic. I've also seen people do it with like a damp towel, like a damp tea towel. I think I'm just gonna do it with plastic because I'm trying to do it all kind of like in one day. So yeah, I think that's my best bet right now. I'm gonna tent it. Okay, I guess this is what it looks like now. See you in an hour. Time to do the stretch and folds. Apparently you're supposed to quarter turn. It looks a bit more like a ball of dough now than just like a clump. Okay, we're doing things. Okay, putting this back in the warm room. See you in an hour. Okay, y'all, it's time. It's doubled in size. It's jiggly. I think this is what's supposed to happen now. Or at least I'm really hoping, because oh no, if it's not. Flour the surface. I got my hair out of my face so that it's not flopping all over the place. And this morning, after I started my ball of dough, I accidentally sliced my finger on my freaking yogurt. I was trying to go underneath the lid and the aluminum sliced my finger, and I'm so annoyed because I'm like, really, the one day that I actually need my finger? I'm hoping this isn't a bad sign. Okay, there's a lot left. Please refrain from making comments until the end of the video, because I may have learned from my mistakes by the time that things continue. Okay, it says lift and form into a ball and then leave on the counter to relax for 10 minutes. See you in 10 minutes. I don't know. 10 minutes have passed. It has flattened out a little bit. Now it says to flip and stretch out a little. We don't want to get rid of the bubbles, so don't squish it, but just stretch it. That's what I've heard. Stretch it like a pizza. A little bit. I have the instructions written down here because I've been watching videos and I wrote down what she said to do. So we're stretching it out here flat ways, and then we're rolling it in. But then again, try not to get the bubbles messed up. And then we're stretching, 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 stretching here. So we have a little ball, and then the bottom becomes the top. Good. So I don't have a Banneton, and I probably won't get one for a very long time. And there's still flour everywhere. I just floured a towel. Oh, there we go. It probably could look a little better on the top right here, but honestly, it's fine. I never said that the first one that I made was gonna be pretty, I just said that it was gonna be made. And then I think I'm just supposed to put this in the fridge until later. But I'll see you back when I'm ready to cook this, bake it. You know what I mean. Okay, the cookies turned out delish. They look beautiful and amazing. Yeah, but I'm gonna cook my first loaf tomorrow morning before work, and then I guess have a bite after work when I get home, because you have to let it cool before you can eat it and cut into it. So you would have thought that I had still tried to do more research before I finally decided to make a loaf. No, I just had a free day and I was too excited. I think after watching some more videos, after putting my dough in the fridge, I think I messed up the bulk ferment. I knew when it was coming out of the bowl, I was like, this doesn't seem right, but then I was too excited. I was just too excited. I was just too excited. So I've made some mistakes already that I literally know about before I even put the dough in the oven, but it's fine. This is a learning process and I'm going to be making mistakes, and I expected that. So let's see what happens to the dough and then see how the loaf turns out. I have to go to work. I've preheated the oven so I can bake the loaf and then I'll be able to eat it when I get back. So yeah. Hi, Snake. I forgot to film my reaction of taking it out of the oven because I actually have to leave in like 10 minutes for work. But
whoa, daddy.
I mean, we still don't know what it tastes like, but it actually genuinely doesn't look that bad. I'm shocked. I'll see you in a few hours when I get back from work and we can actually cut into it. But what the heck? It's so, okay, it's burnt on the bottom a little bit. Fine, whatever. I've heard that if you do these on the bottom, it helps. But anyways, that's a problem for another day. It's super lumpy. It didn't get that good of a rise. It smells fine. I don't know. Should I just cut it in half? That's what everyone does.
Is that what they do?
Yeah. I am already assuming that it's not gonna have the crumb that I want. Okay, that's not all the way open, but honestly, that's not bad.
Put it up to the camera.
It's not a big crackle because I didn't, like, there wasn't really like steam. I could have added water. There's a lot of things that I've learned from my bread.
It smells amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa, nice thickums piece. We need to sharpen our knives.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
I know. Oh, look at that slice.
And what? We have the best butter known to man, aka Kerrygold.
Kerrygold?
Ready and softened. Wait, are we just gonna eat it straight up? We're gonna
That's what I want to do. Is I want to eat this straight up. Look at that.
My first ever loaf.
It's great, Grace. I can catch you.
You're really gonna eat that whole
Yeah,
slice?
that's amazing. Are you kidding? Real bread?
Homemade, guys. It's the first of many.
That's awesome.
I hope to never buy a $6 loaf of sourdough ever again because I paid $8 for this entire bag of flour.
I actually like its like fluffiness. I'm into it. Here you go, sweetheart.
Ready?
That's good.
It's bread.
It's bread. It's delicious. No, that's good. Also, that New York water sends it over.
He'll never get over the fact of the New York water. It's New York sourdough.
This is a New York piece of bread right here. For those of you that don't know, people always go, what water is there in New York? They pipe it from 200 miles north in the Catskill Mountains, so there is amazing water.
It's so funny
that New York
because
gets that they built 200 years ago.
people always come and visit and they're like, oh, can I drink the tap water? I'm like, baby girl, you can drink the tap water here
It's
better
gold.
than you can anywhere else.
It's gold here.
It's actually so good. Flip is right there. He wants some. I've learned a lot of things and I know what I can do better for next time, but honestly, this is a pretty good first piece. If it only goes up from here, then this is great.
I'm impressed.
The bread can only get better after this.
I'm impressed.
I'm feeling pretty satisfied with this being my first loaf.
Okay.
I learned a lot during this experience of making my first loaf of sourdough, and I expect I'm going to make a handful more mistakes, but I'm really proud of myself for putting myself out there and trying to learn something new and not getting too down on myself when I failed and fumbled along the way. I'm just really excited for this new skill to pay off down the road, and I'm excited for the hundreds more loaves that I will make in the future. I know there's still a lot of mistakes to fix and a lot of things to continue to learn from in order to make my sourdough even better. So I hope you enjoyed watching me stumble through my first experience of making a sourdough loaf, but hopefully this inspires you to do something that you've always wanted to try, or you've just been too nervous to start. I'm telling you now, there's gonna be failures along the way and not everything is gonna go right, but that's kind of part of the fun. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, I'm sending you all my love because we're all just trying our best out here. Bye!